What is going on, guys? Welcome to your 9th Java game development tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be learning how to build some more methods that are going to be useful in our animation. So in the last tutorial we built a method to add a scene, and we also built our constructor, and inside our constructor we called this start method, but we never actually built it. So let's go ahead and add a comment to and we'll build it right now. What this is going to do is start animation from beginning. Good enough. Make sure beginning looks like Beijing, or else your code will not work. So let's go ahead and make our start method right here, and we'll go public and synchronize void start. So now we can only run this method before we can run any others, aka synchronized. So what start is going to do is, remember, we made two variables called movie time and total time right here. It's going to pretty much, you're going to call this whenever you restart your animation or start it for the first time. So we're going to set that movie time, or your animation time, equal to 0 right there. So aside from this, whenever you restart your animation, you want to make sure that your scene index is at 0 as well. And this means that pretty much you start at the beginning of your animation, and whenever you call this method, and make sure that everything is pretty much reset to 0. So that's all that method does, start. Simple enough. And now we need to make a method to change from scene to scene, or when one image is up, go to the next scene. So let's go ahead and put change scenes. Good enough. And now we'll name this method update. So public synchronized void, and we will name it update. Now what this is going to do is take one parameter, long time passed, and what time passed is going to be, and don't worry about the exactly what it means right now, we'll be creating it later. It's pretty much going to be the time that passes from the last update, since we're going to call this update many times, and we're going to keep track of the time that passed from when I called it this time from the time I called it last time. So let's go ahead and write a simple if scenes.size, and size is a built-in method, so you don't got to worry about that, is greater than 1. And if you're saying, alright, why do you need to check this? Well, if you only have one scene then your scene is equal to 1, then you don't even have an animation, you just have a picture just chilling there on your screen. So we only want to run this code if there's more than one pictures, pretty much. So let's go ahead and do this. The first thing we want to do is take that movie time and set it equal to the sum of time passed. And what does this mean in plain terms? Well, the movie time is pretty much the sum of all the time that passed from last update. So this time passed is how long does it take to call these updates from the last update, and store that time and add it to this movie time right here. So it's pretty much the sum of all the time passed. So pretty much what you're going to get in the movie time is the total time your animation has run. So now what we can do that is check for something. If movie time is greater or equal to total time, like that. And why do we need to check for this? Because we want to make sure the time of the animation itself does not exceed the limit that it should go. And if it does exceed it, if this animation gets done sooner than this, we want to restart the animation. And if we don't restart it, then it's just going to stay still on that last picture, and we don't want that, or else it would be a really boring movie. So let's just go ahead and what do we want to do to restart our animation? Let's go ahead and put movie time equal to 0, and also scene index equal to 0. And if you look up here, this is pretty much doing the same thing. This is going to happen when you start your animation for the very first time, and when it's running and you need to restart it, this is how you do it. So, and that needs to be capitalized like that. So pretty much when the movie gets done, or when the animation gets done running one loop, restart the animation again, and do it until it gets to the total time, then your movie's going to be over. So now we need to make a little thing. If the movie time surpasses, well, pretty much it's saying, when do I get done with one picture and go to the other picture? And let's make a little while loop for this. It'll be the easier. If movie time, and remember, this is your animation time, is greater than, and this might be kind of confusing. We're going to be building a method later called getScene, and it's pretty much going to get the picture or the scene you're on. So getScene, and I know we didn't build this yet, but stick with me. Scene index, and all this is going to do is get whatever animation you're on right now and get the end time for it. So, well, let me think. Alright, here's what we're going to do. Scene index plus plus. What this is saying, and I know it's confusing because we didn't build this method yet, and we're going to be building it in the next tutorial. When you get to the end of one scene, go to the next one. So whenever you call a picture, it's going to run for a certain amount of time. Whenever you're done running that, go to the next picture and do the exact same thing before. So that's what this little while loop checks for. And now our update method is complete. All we have to do is pass in the time that passed, and we'll be checking this in our other one right here. I mean, that's all we really need for this tutorial. So I know this looks really confusing, but if you just look at it for like 1 second and think about it, all it does pretty much is change scenes when it needs to be changed, or change pictures, change images. They're all the same thing. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to be building probably, well, a couple more methods that are going to be necessary, and soon enough we'll have this animation up and running in no time. But again, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.